Hey guys, so it's me, Wild here, and welcome to. I'm actually going to click over to the page now. To this. I can actually close that because I don't know what the hell that is. This is actually a video. Now, I'm going to see if I can try to do face cams with OBS, Open Broadcast System. But this is actually a YouTube video that I found, and I thought this would be pretty cool to show on the channel. You know, get something new out there since my PC. Oh, goddamn, my PC. Anyway, I'll explain that in the vlog later. Today, actually, will be before, but this will be after that. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm actually gonna go get a better damn chair because this was so damn fucking squeaky. Ah! Yeah, yeah. That's actually a lot lower. I don't think I want this one either. I'm gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, I can see perfectly fine. So yeah, as you can tell, it is 3 scary true sleepover stories. Now, I will be doing all 3. So I will leave this in the link in case I decide not to do all 3. Then you can do that. Yeah. Alright guys, so let's get right started.
This happened when I was 15 years old. My best friend Anthony wanted me to come over for the night since his parents would be gone all weekend.
Sorry.
I rode my bike over and put it in his backyard before letting myself in through his back door. We played basically every video game he had, from FIFA all the way to Call of Duty, with popcorn and other junk food spilled out all over the floor.
Oh, that's great.
As the night progressed, we moved from video games to watching half a movie and getting bored to doing prank calls at close to 10 o'clock.
No.
Anthony made a few calls to different pizza places. When it was my turn, I just dialed a few random numbers in hopes to get someone at their house. On, say, my 4th attempt, I finally reached somebody. A guy with a deep and rough voice picked up, answering with a yeah instead of a hello. Anthony's laughing in the background made me stumble with my words mid-sentence, ultimately cracking up into laughter. I had never done a prank call, so I sucked at it. The guy on the other end was silent. I regained a straight face and tried to continue with the call. It went something like this. Sir, would it be alright if I borrowed one of the wheels from your car? What's your name, kid? My name is Bob. Really? You sure it's not Anthony?
Oh shit.
It hit me like a brick. I looked up at Anthony, whose face was noticeably full of fear. I hung up the phone, not wanting to be on the line with whoever that was for another second. Anthony, who the hell was that? I asked him. I don't know, he told me. Does your caller ID info display your name or something? No, it shows my dad's name. We hopped on the computer and did some research, trying to figure out how it was possible to get someone's name through their phone number. It didn't make sense how he could get Anthony's name so quickly. He was way too young at the time to be on any of those personal information sharing websites.
Yeah.
We ended up asking a question on Yahoo Answers, since no one had a similar experience. The question turned up no answers. I suggested he call his dad, but he said he wasn't supposed to have anybody over for the weekend, so he didn't want to call. We planned on sleeping in the living room, so we just resumed watching the movie that we hadn't finished from earlier. Right after the phone call had left my mind, me and Anthony looked at each other when we heard his front storm door opening, and then the doorknob to the front door began to turn.
Oh god. This guy's
It
really
only
good.
was able to turn about halfway before the lock restricted it. Anthony turned off the TV, and I went over to the window to see who it was. I spread the blinds open. There was a tall guy standing outside. He noticed the blinds moving and turned to look at me. I practically threw the blinds back into place. Me and Anthony hid in the kitchen, listening for any more noises. We heard the sound of the gate to the backyard opening, as it was right outside the kitchen window. God damn it, I said. I forgot to shut the back door. Anthony urged me to run and shut it. I made it to the hallway leading to his back door, and froze. There was a silhouette standing outside the back door. I don't think he noticed me, but he was surely looking into the house. He opened the door and stepped inside. I tiptoed to the kitchen and motioned for Anthony to follow me upstairs. We made it to his room as quietly as possible, pulling the door shut to avoid making any noise. We crawled under his bed. He had cloth covering the bottom of his bed, so you couldn't see anything under it unless you actually moved the cloth. The doors downstairs all opened, each one getting closer to the stairs. Thumps finally began up the stairs, and he was right outside the door now. The door to the room opened. I could hear Anthony's breathing. It was too loud. Footsteps moved over to the closet, and then the closet opened. I could hear the coat hangers being slid around as the fabric of the jackets and coats rubbed against each other. Footsteps moved over to the bed and stopped. I felt like my heart was about to explode out of my chest. Anthony's breathing was too loud. I had to cover his mouth with my hand. Nothing but silence in the room now. We laid still for so long, I almost thought he wasn't even in the room anymore.
Whoops, sorry. I think I know what he's gonna do, but I actually wanted to stop that way, way sooner. I've actually watched a couple of this guy's videos. I think it's the same guy. Let me check. Yes, it is Mr. Nightmare. Oh my god, this guy does so good on his videos. Shout out to him on how good. I actually got scared out of this. I'm not being over dramatic or anything like that. I am being legit serious. Oh my god, no, if he moves from out under the bed and he's there and he kills him, it's on him.
I moved my hand away from Anthony's mouth and whispered in his ear, "You think we can make a run for it?"
No.
He was about to answer when the most disturbing, memory-haunting scream I'd ever heard filled my ears as Anthony was seemingly dragged out from under the bed.
Oh my
I crawled
god.
out and saw him struggling with the man. I desperately looked around for anything to use as a weapon. I settled with the screwdriver sitting on his nightstand. I hurried over to the man and drove the screwdriver into his back. He let go of Anthony as he let out a scream of agony, giving us time to get the hell out of the house. Running onto the road would give away our position too easily. It would take too long to make it to his neighbor's house. We dove for the tree line in the woods and took cover behind a bush, watching the house. The back door opened as the man stepped outside, looking around the backyard. He then looked out to the woods.
Oh god.
I felt his eyes pass me as he scanned through the tree line. It seemed that it was too dark for him to see us. Then, he turned his head back in our direction. I ducked behind the bush. "Joe, he's coming." "What?" "Dude, get up, we gotta run." He was right. The man was approaching us fast. How could he have seen us?
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
We ran through the woods
Scary.
with the leaves crunching under us, giving away our position. When Anthony tripped over something, I crouched down with him, hoping we had run far enough. Not even 20 seconds later, oncoming footsteps from the direction we were running from came fast. They slowed down only 2 trees away from us, as we lay face down in the leaves. Moments later, the footsteps take off in another direction. We waited until we could no longer hear them, and took off back in the direction of the house. While running, over the sound of leaves crushing and my heavy breathing, I could swear I heard leaves crushing from behind us. We made it back to his backyard, into his house.
Why?
This time, remembering to shut the back door. We were now able to call the police. Anthony stayed on the line with them, while I patrolled the back windows, making sure nobody was out there. It was so dark, though, I couldn't see anything. So I did something that seems stupid today. I turned on his backyard lights,
Oh god.
and immediately in the distance, over by the woods, I saw him, standing in front of a big tree. He turned off back into the woods and disappeared out of sight. That was the last time me or Anthony ever saw him. I would be lying if I told you we heard the occasional knocks at our windows or something cliche. No, that was it. 5 years have passed and nothing has happened. Do I wonder if it was somehow linked to the prank call? Maybe. Does it make sense? Not really. But yeah, this was the story of how me and my still best friend Anthony almost died during a break-in.
Now, I know it's a little messed up, but what if that was his dad? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry, I just had to make that joke. Anyway, so if Me personally, me and my friend Joe, which is actually really weird, we both carry knives on us when we're not in school. And if that happened to us, he goes hunting, I go hunting. He does a lot of stuff that I do too. And we all have, me and him have this weird connection where, like, I'll do something and then he'll automatically know how to do it. So weird, you know? And we used to do like Nerf wars all the time. And me and him would just connect shots back and forth. Arm shot, arm shot. You know, not the same shots, you know, just like, and we were behind cover and everything. And that's how good we were at the time. But if something like that happened to us, I don't think we'd be hiding. I think we'd be trying to get him. Yeah. Joe, if you're watching this, you know it's true. We'd be scared, but you know it's true. All right, let's continue with the second story. Oh, God. Mr. Nightmare, you're awesome.
Me and my wife have had our fair share of arguments, but there was this one night that she wouldn't stop bitching over the stupidest shit. It got to the point where I forgot to put the toilet seat down, and she lectured me at the top of her lungs with an ear-piercing voice that I just couldn't take it anymore. I called my buddy Paul up, and he told me I could crash there for the night.
Okay.
I was exhausted, and I didn't need to deal with my crazy wife at the time. Paul had a huge house, which was another thing my wife always yelled at me about, how all my friends have nicer houses than us. We had a few beers and had a bro chat. He suggested I stay there for as long as I needed, but I assured him I'd only stay for one night. I didn't want to be a bother. I slept in one of his guest bedrooms. Surprisingly, he has 3 guest bedrooms, but has only needed to use one of them so far. He never uses the other 2 bedrooms, and only plans on using them for a party or something like that. All 3 guest bedrooms in the house are lined up next to each other, while Paul's bedroom is across the hall. It's a weird setup for sure, but it let me hear strange noises coming from the next room over. I assumed it was Paul doing something in there, but it quickly got annoying, so I decided to just walk over and see what was going on. I tried the doorknob, but it was locked. I cracked the door open to Paul's room and asked him what the noise was. He was already in bed as well. He didn't hear anything. Upon asking why he kept the door locked, he told me he always keeps those 2 doors locked, as he keeps some personal belongings in there. I warned him that there was a strange noise coming from the room, and he told me to just go back to sleep, and if I continue to hear it, come back to him. So I did. I went back to bed, and the noises were completely gone now. A half hour passed. I was starting to drift off to sleep at last, when I heard the slightest tap on the wall. It came from the other side, the next room over. It was followed by a faint voice. I jolted up from the bed and ran back to Paul's room. This time, he took me seriously. He got the key to the 2 doors and unlocked the one next to mine. We stepped inside and felt a breeze hit us on the way in. The window was completely open, along with the closet. We dug through the entire room. The bed had marks on it as if someone were on it. The closet was full of empty bags, and his valuable belongings that were in his drawers were gone.
Rob.
Paul suddenly ran out to the hallway. I was confused at first, but I caught on quickly as he was checking the other room. I was right by his side as he unlocked the door to the 3rd guest bedroom, and the first thing we saw was a black figure jumping out the window onto the patio roof. Paul was about to jump out after him, but we instead both ran outside through the back door in hopes to catch him. He was gone already. It's a good thing we didn't catch him though, because what we found in this room was far more disturbing. The white sheets on the bed were stained with blood. The closet had the butcher knife he had been missing sitting on the floor with a few blood spots on it. And of course, all of his valuable belongings were gone. These people, most likely homeless and likely dangerous drug addicts, were living in his home for a little more than a week. He had even mentioned something about how fast his food goes, and yet he's so skinny when we were drinking. That made a lot more sense now. As far as we know, none of them were ever caught.
Sorry. I would be calling the cops. You know, putting a few more locks on the door, on the windows, in the closets. Yeah, a lot more locks. Call the cops. afterwards, I'm going to talk about a little bit more depth into this and one of my scary sleepover stories that I actually had, but I'll save that to the end.
I remember it like it was yesterday. It was my first sleepover, an important part of my childhood. It was my good friend. His name was Jordan. We were 10 years old. He had a huge basement where we could play video games until 1 in the morning and then sleep on the couches. Skipping the teeth brushing like two little rebels, we went straight to trying to get some sleep on the couches. I fell asleep with ease. I woke up at some unknown time. I realized the TV was still on, with a blank screen. It was giving off a very dim light, but it was enough to notice something in the far corner of the basement, by the stairs.
Oh, God.
It was some tall object. I didn't know what it was, and I can't really describe how it looked. All I know is it almost reached the ceiling. The sound of the TV turning off and the small amount of light vanishing was almost enough to make me start screaming. I shut my eyes and just laid there motionless. I don't even remember falling back asleep. All I remember is waking up to a sudden and horrid screaming coming from upstairs.
Oh,
It was
God.
Jordan's mom. He woke up as well, and we looked at each other before sprinting upstairs to his parents' room. His mom was sitting there crying as his dad was turning the room upside down looking for what she saw. He barged out past us looking for anybody in the house, but there was nobody in the house. No signs of entry or exit. I'm still friends with Jordan today, and the last time I've brought this up, he said his mom doesn't like to talk about it, but she did once admit she saw a tall, dark figure standing by their bedroom door. I'm undoubtedly sure that's what I saw in the basement that night.
Oh, God. I would be freaking out. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that. There's all those videos, but I don't want to watch them just now. Okay, so I'm actually gonna open up the OBS, make sure it's still recording, and it is, I think, yes, right, 17 minutes. It's actually a pretty good video. Oh, look at that awesomeness right there. Oh, look at my little mouse. Anyway, so I'm gonna click back here. I'm gonna move my chair back. Ow. I'm gonna move my chair back just because of the fact that this happened in my own house and everything like that. I'm actually pacing right now. I normally don't pace in the middle of videos. I'm gonna move this chair. So, here's how it goes. I think it was with Joe. Joe, if you remember this, let me know when I talk to you. But, here's how it goes. Me and Joe were having the good times. Yeah, the good times. We were really just messing around downstairs, and it was the middle of summer, you know, two kids hanging out, having a sleepover and everything. So, this was before I got my four-wheel. And I was probably about 6 or 7, and I was scared of pretty much everything then. And I woke up in the middle of the night, went upstairs to grab a glass of water, and I could have swore I saw something. Because I'll do a vlog about this again, but I swear I saw something in the corner where all the where the cabinet is for all of our awards and special glasses and everything like that. I'll do a video on that later where I could have swore something was over there. And this is where I saw sippy cups. Yes, I love sippy cups still today, but I'm sorry if I'm yelling. This is really a weird thing to talk about. Anyway, and I went I went up to it. I was stupid. And I went up to it. It didn't move. So I thought, oh, I just might be seeing things. And I have a fan light above my stove where my fan is, and then light for the fan. And that was on. And that's how I saw the figure. I don't know what it was, but something of mine was missing, and I completely forgot. It was my iPod. Yeah, it was my iPod that went missing. So I don't know if he took it. I found it eventually, but it was in the weirdest spot. It was in my garage. And really, I just got scared out of my mind. Whenever I see dark figures like that, I freak. I completely freak. I lose all focus, and I just no. I I've screamed a couple of times because I thought I saw him again. So yeah, guys, I think that's a good place to end the video. So, uh, this was one of the things where this is one of the things that I like to talk about, but I don't like to talk about. So if you want to hear more stories about my life or about certain people, or if you have certain stories or people, let me know, because I want to hear them, you know? So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to put this link in the video description below, so if you don't want to hear my talking, my commentary, you just listen to it. Anyway, guys, so I want to thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever you want to see. But for right now, it's going to be stuff on my laptop, which you can't really do much. So yeah, I want to thank you so much. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.